Good morning. It's our great pleasure this morning to introduce our guest speaker for today, Ayden Jent. Ayden is an accomplished Paralympian with Team USA track and field, and he placed 5th in the 100 and 200 meters in the recent Rio Paralympic Games. He's also the son of our very own Ms. Jessen, our middle school interventionist. So let's give Ayden a warm St. Mark welcome.
Good morning, everybody. As she mentioned, I am a U.S. Paralympian from Rio. Also, I made the world team twice, and I'm a 3-time national team member. I was born 3 months premature in a hospital in Fort Wayne, and because of that, I developed a disability called cerebral palsy, which affects my motor skills in my muscles and my legs. I was born at 2 pounds 4 ounces, as small as a dollar bill, and I grew up in LaGrange in northern Indiana for the first 4 years of my life. But that all changed before my 5th birthday when a fire broke out in my bedroom. My mom had just gotten back from a trip, and she was taking a bath, and she kept hearing me cough. And she wondered what that was, dismissed it, and after 10 minutes, she decided to go and check on me and my brother. When she opened the door, the whole side of the wall of my room was on fire. So she grabbed us, and we ran out of the house. And ultimately, that changed our lives forever, because we moved out of that house and we moved downtown here to Indianapolis. So we also lived in my mom's boutique shop for about 3 months, and the community really supported us and gave us everything we needed. They gave us a bathroom and a sink and everything to help us through those couple of months. Because of my disability, I spent a lot of time at the Shriners Hospital getting casts and braces on my legs, and also Riley Hospital as well. During my middle school years, I went to Methodist Hospital, and they gave me Botox injections, 14 of them in each leg, to try to loosen up the muscles so I would be able to walk straighter. And then also I went to Hayden Physical Therapy for several years to try to also help with my disability. At this time, it led to a lot of bullying in school. People would mock me and call me names like crippled, but I didn't listen to them. I just continued about my day and tried to talk with them and figure out their perspective on why they would call me names. And just being very self-conscious of the cast, because I got to choose the different colors, green, hot pink, red, whatever they wanted me to choose, I could use. Indianapolis is very near and dear to my heart. The people, the places, the cultures, everything. My mom would often work multiple jobs at night just to help us provide, and she would often take me to work with her. And one of those was the American Cabaret Theater downtown, where I would go sit and watch the plays as she worked in the back, just have a bag of M&Ms, and then often go in the back behind and talk with the actors and actresses. And I felt it really helped with my cultural experience and having new experiences. I went to Herron High School downtown. It was a new high school at the time, but it also allowed me to explore different avenues that I didn't know that I could do. I ran in track, I played basketball, cross country, and soccer. Soccer was my favorite sport. I did that all 4 years. And then I also traveled to Italy as well, my senior year. As part of the National Honor Society, junior class president in a leadership group. I wanted to be involved in every aspect of school to get as many experiences and meet new people and make new friends as I could. And then I went to Indiana State in Terre Haute. I have a political science degree, I also took a trip to Washington, D.C. my junior year, and I was a reporter and photographer for the school newspaper. And I was also a manager of the track team as well, so that coincided with me being a photographer, so I took photos of the track meets and sent them back to the newspaper. And it was a wonderful experience. I was a manager all 4 years, and we traveled to meets all over the country. I never thought I'd go to Nebraska or Iowa, and I ended up going there for track meets. And not to mention the coach on the far right, late coach John McNichols. He was a very big mentor for me, and he actually encouraged me getting involved in the Paralympics. And the Paralympics were started by Dr. Ludwig Goodman in 1948 for disabled veterans after World War II. He started out with 16 injured servicemen who had an archery competition, and it slowly grew from there over the years. And the first Paralympic Games was in 1960 in Rome. They started out with 400 athletes, and then by the time I competed in Rio, they had over 4,300 athletes in the Games. And these are several photos of some of my teammates. The bottom middle is David Brown. He's the fastest blind athlete in the world, running 10:95, along with his guide, Jerome Avery. And the top left is Jared Wallace. He's one of my teammates from Georgia, who's an amputee, single leg amputee. And in the middle, just above the Paralympic logo, is Lex Gillette. He is a blind long jumper. So his guide claps in front of the long jump pit for him to run straight at him without him seeing anything. And he'll yell, and Lex will jump into the pit, not knowing what he's going to land into. And in Doha, Lex actually missed the pit completely and landed on his back. And then the next jump, he ended up winning gold at the World Championships, which was a pretty cool thing to see. My journey started in St. Paul, Minnesota. After my senior year, I decided to drive up with my dad. I reached out to the high performance director saying, what do I have to do to get involved? I have a disability. And she said, come up, we'll get you classified. We'll see what events we could put you in. And I ended up getting put in the 100 to 200 meters. And I was a distance runner before that, so it would be an interesting adjustment to try to go from 5 to 6 miles down to 100, 200 meters. But I ended up winning gold in the 100 meters and becoming national champion. And I also got the nickname Ayden the Jent, which has stuck with me forever. But I ended up making the World Championship team in Doha, Qatar, and the Paralympian team in Toronto. The Paralympic Games was my first international meet, and I placed second in the 100 meters, and I actually brought my medal today. I would usually pass it around, but with everything going on today. And I also made the national team for the first time in that race, running 13:28, which during the year we have standards that we have to hit, either National A or National B standard, to be able to make the national team and get a stipend to help us throughout the year. Doha was a very unique experience, going to the Middle East for the first time. Just a very unique culture shock for me. So I ended up finishing 10th and 7th in the 200. I made a rookie mistake. Usually before the races, we don't do anything. We kind of hang out in our hotel room and just kind of relax and save and conserve our energy for the race. But I jumped in the swimming pool at the hotel, and my coach was actually in the swimming pool. So he yelled at me to get out and get to the room so I could rest up for the race. But because I did that, I lost a certain amount of speed for the race that night and didn't end up making the finals. But in 2016 in Charlotte, I ended up making the Paralympic team, which was an amazing experience, just waiting to hear your name called, because they brought everybody into the room after the competition was over, and they called your name off one by one. So I was sitting there counting how many slots were left in the team, and it got to 5 slots left on the team, and they called my name, and I just got so excited. It was honored to be able to represent Team USA. And Michael McKillop on the top left is an Irish middle distance runner who has CP as well. He was the one that actually inspired me to get involved in the Paralympics, and I actually got to meet him. So it was quite an experience. And the top right photo is out of the window of one of my teammates' rooms at the Olympic Village. Now the top left is Kathy Zeller. She was the high performance director. She's the one that got me started. In the middle top is David Brown, that blind athlete I told you about. He ended up winning gold. And on the top right is the food area for the Olympic Village. Now, in Rio, everything is the same as the Olympic Games. We're in the same place, and everything is the same. It's pretty cool. But the food area is 3 football fields large of just all you can eat, whatever you want, Italian, Mexican, Middle Eastern, whatever. And you just go in every day, and that's where I spent most of my time, just eating whatever I could, unlimited Gatorade, whatever you wanted. It was a lot of fun. In the bottom middle is a volunteer that I got to meet. I still stay in touch with her today, asking her how her days are going, and she's very kind to me. Then we got to visit the White House with the Olympic team, which was a very amazing experience. I got to meet President Obama, Michelle, and Vice President Biden. And then we also got to meet some of our Team USA teammates. I got to meet Simone Biles, the top left, Tamika Catchings, who I still talk with today, Carl Lewis, Allison Felix, and a bunch of others. Then in 2017, I got to move out to Chula Vista, just south of San Diego, and train at the Olympic Training Center for 8 months. In the bottom right, you can barely tell, but that's the whole U.S. Paralympic team coaching staff. So I spent 8 months there before the World Championships in London in 2017. And my coach is in the top left. And Jack, my nephew, is right over there. He got to see me compete at the World Championships in London as well, which was a really cool experience, knowing that he was in the stands. And on the bottom right, before the 100 meters final, I had a medical staff draw a lightning bolt on my forehead, so when they went through with the cameras, I revealed it and looked like Harry Potter. And I got a chuckle from most of the crowd. And then my last competition was in Berlin in 2018. I retired last year after just getting slower and dealing with injuries in my knee and my legs. But through all of this, I learned that mentors and teammates, they can come from anywhere, tend to be older than you, but that's not always the case. They're supportive of your endeavors, and you should usually try to listen to their advice. Even if you may not agree with it, it's coming from the heart. They often guide you with a moral compass to help you on your path, and they always work with you towards your goal. In the middle picture is my friend David, who I met on that Italy trip at Herron High School, and he is still my best friend to this day after 12 years. My coach is on the left, and then Jerome Avery on the right. We got to spend a couple days in London with him after the competition. And he's been very supportive as well. The world is your oyster. Follow your heart wherever it leads you. You never know what path it could take you. I followed my heart in St. Paul, and I had no idea that it would lead to the Paralympic Games and so many other experiences that it has. Always be kind to others and respect them. Even if you don't agree or you may not see eye to eye, respect and kindness is always the best medicine. And also take time to listen to others, even if you don't agree with them. Listening is very important, as well as communication. Communication is key. I can't stress that enough. Even in movies and just in life, a lot of misunderstandings and problems are caused by not enough communication or proper communication. And always ask questions, even if you're nervous. I had a teacher in high school that said, if you ask, you won't receive. And he was my English teacher. And that really stuck with me through the years, because I was always nervous and shy in school and didn't really like asking questions, because I would like to do the tests or read the books by myself and not really ask for help. But asking for help is important. And I leave you with a quote that we had outside of our team room in Rio. It was from St. Francis of Assisi, which when I went to Italy in high school, we actually went to Assisi and got to see the tomb and visit, which was kind of full circle. It was pretty exciting that I got to see this. So it's start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. So that's that. I'll take any questions if you guys have them. Yes, sir. Usually I would train 2 to 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. Sunday would be only my day off. I usually train at the YMCA, using the indoor track there during the winter. But yeah, that was one of the things that got me over the years, was just the consistent having to eat every morning and then go and train outside, and just the repetition. It becomes just a way of life after so long. What caused what? The fire? Oh, it was electrical. I think we had a disco ball in our room that fell and caught on fire. And honestly, if my mother hadn't come into the room at that time, we probably would have died of smoke inhalation. So. And I think that goes to also, as the pastor said, guardian angels. I truly believe that we all have guardian angels with us that watch over us and help us every day. And I believe that was one of those instances where the guardian angel just whispered and said for her to go and check the room. And there have been other instances in my life where I should probably be dead, but I am not. So. Thank you.